Subterror, Sabuterā, is an archetype of Earth monsters that first appeared in the Dark Illusion. It is one of two formerly TCG-exclusive archetypes that premiered in that set, the other being the SPYRAL. The archetype includes a sub-archetype called Subterror Behemoth. All members of this archetype are Earth monsters with various types. The high-leveled Subterror Behemoth is comprised of colossal beasts whose names are a reference to subterranean anomalies or types of rock, TCG, or points, and portions of the Mediterranean Sea, OCG. The low-leveled Subterror Nemesis monsters are human hunters fighting the Subterror Behemoths. Subterror Behemoth Fiendes is revealed to be Subterror Fiendes and Subterror Guru is Subterror Behemoth Speleologist, respectively. The effects of the two Subterror Nemesis monsters are very necessary in order to special summon the Subterror Behemoth monsters from the deck face up or face down. Since Subterror Nemesis Warrior has the ability to be continually reused, it is common to see the cards Speedroid Terrortop and Speedroid Taketomborg being used to XYZ summon MX Saber Invoker simply to search it out. Tour Guide from the Underworld with any level 3 Fiend-type monster or Predaplant Ophrys Scorpio with Predaplant Darlingtonia Cobra can have the same result, with the ability to search instant fusion if using the Predaplant engine. Flipping the Subterror Behemoth monsters face up and face down can be controlled through card effects such as Prediction Princess Tarot Tray, Book of Teo, Subterror Final Battle and the Hidden City. Subterror Behemoth Dragossuary. Flip, you can activate this effect. This turn, Subterror cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Dragossuary once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. This card can be easily special summon while you control a single face-up monster by flipping it face down Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, etc. Since this monster is zombie type, it works well with IL Blood, Mizuki, and Book of Life. Subterror Behemoth Phosphoroglacier. Flip, you can send one card from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Phosphoroglacier once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. Subterror Behemoth Speleologist. Flip, you can target one monster on the field, change it to face-up attack position if it is in defense position, also change its ATK to 0. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Speleologist once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. Subterror Behemoth Stalagmo. Flip, you can discard one Subterror monster, and if you do, draw 2 cards. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Stalagmo once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. This card can be searched by Temple of the Kings, Dagu, Single Purchase, Transmodify, Painful Escape, Prediction Princess Coin Orma, Spirit of the Fall Wind, Subterror Behemoth Apparition, Boxer, Frontline Observer, Doki Doki, The Hidden City, Subterror Nemesis Warrior, and Subterror Guru. Subterror Behemoth Stygokraken. Flip, you can target set cards on the field, equal to the number of Subterror Behemoth monsters you control, destroy them. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Stygokraken once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. Subterror Behemoth Ultramaphus. flip, you can change all other face-up monsters on the field to face-down defense position. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Ultramaphus once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face-down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face-down defense position. Subterror Behemoth Strikes, flip, you can target one monster your opponent controls, banish it. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Strikes once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face-down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face-down defense position. Subterror Behemoth Voltelluric, flip, you can target one set monster your opponent controls, take control of it until your next end phase. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Voltelluric once per turn. When a face-up monster you control is flipped face-down, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face-down defense position. If the opponent doesn't control a face-down monster, or any monsters whatsoever, cards such as Reverse Reuse and the Shallow Grave can provide the opponent with a face-down monster for this card's effect to take advantage of. Subterror Fiendes, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one Subterror monster you control, negate the activation, then change the targeted monster to face-down defense position. You can target one face-up monster you control, change it to face-down defense position, and if you do, special summon one Subterror monster from your hand or graveyard, in face-up or face-down defense position. You can only use each effect of Subterror Fiendes once per turn. Subterror Guru, flip, you can add one Subterror card from your deck to your hand, except Subterror Guru. You can target one other face-up monster on the field, change both it and this card to face-down defense position. This effect can be activated during either player's turn, if you control another Subterror card. You can only use each effect of Subterror Guru once per turn. Subterror Nemesis Archer, at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's face-down defense position monster, and you control another Subterror monster, you can shuffle that opponent's monster into the deck. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Subterror monster from your deck in face-up or face-down defense position. You can only use each effect of Subterror Nemesis Archer once per turn. Subterror Nemesis Defender, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets exactly one set monster you control, and no other cards, or when a set monster you control is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand or face-up from your field to the graveyard, then target another monster you control that would be an appropriate target. That card/effect/attack now targets the new target. While you control a set monster, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Subterror Nemesis Warrior, during either player's turn, you can send one Subterror monster from your deck to the graveyard, tribute this card and at least one other monster so the total original level's tribute equal or exceed the level of that Subterror monster in the graveyard, and if you do, special summon that monster in face-up or face-down defense position. If a Subterror Behemoth monster is flipped face-up while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Subterror Nemesis Warrior once per turn. The second effect of this card can be used to protect your Subterror Behemoth monster's flip effects from cards such as Solemn Strike, Shooting Quasar Dragon, etc. This card's first effect can be used to trigger monster effects that activate when sent to the graveyard by card effects. Tributing monsters is part of the effect. Use this card in conjunction with Trial and Tribulation to recover two monsters from your graveyard. If your opponent activates an effect that would destroy all monsters you control, such as Reiki, Torrential Tribute, Black Rose Dragon, etc., activate this card's first effect to special summon Subterror Nemesis Archer, which in turn will special summon another Subterror monster from your deck. You can use Soul Exchange to tribute one of your opponent's monsters instead. Subterror Behemoth Fiendes, 2 flip monsters. Gains ATK equal to the combined original levels of the Subterror monsters used for its Link Summon X100. During your main phase, you can send one flip monster from your deck to the GY, and if you do, special summon one monster from your hand in face-down defense position to your zone this card points to. You can only use this effect of Subterror Behemoth Fiendes once per turn. Once per turn, if a monster this card points to is flipped face up, add one flip monster from your deck or GY to your hand. Subterror Cave Clash. All Subterror monsters you control gain 500 ATK and def for each set monster on the field. Once per turn, when a Subterror monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one Subterror card in your graveyard, except Subterror Cave Clash, add it to your hand. The Hidden City. When this card is activated, you can add one Subterror monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can change one face-down defense position Subterror monster you control to face-up attack or defense position. Once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can change one face-down defense position Subterror monster you control to face-up attack or defense position, then you can negate the attack. You can only activate one the Hidden City per turn. Subterror Behemoth Burrowing. You can banish one Subterror monster from your graveyard. For the rest of this turn, face-down monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and your opponent cannot target them with card effects. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can add one Subterror monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Subterror monster you control, change it to face-down defense position. Subterror Final Battle. Activate one of these effects. Also, after that, set this card face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. Change one set Subterror monster on the field to face-up attack or defense position. Change one face-up Subterror monster on the field to face-down defense position. ATK and def of one Subterror monster on the field become equal to its combined original ATK and def until the end of this turn. This turn, activated effects of Subterror cards cannot be negated. Subterror Succession. Activate one of these effects. Also, after that, set this card face down instead of sending it to the GY. Send one monster from your hand or face-up field to the GY, and if you do, add one flip monster with the same attribute, but different name than the sent monster from your deck to your hand. Send one flip monster from your hand or face-up field to the GY, and if you do, add one monster with the same attribute, but with a lower original level than the sent monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate one Subterror Succession per turn. Note that this card can be used in any mono attribute flip deck, not just Subterror.